Back in episode 43 of the show, I reviewed the Tamdhu Batch Strength Batch number 6 Scotch Whisky, and I concluded that I was annoyed that you couldn't buy it anymore in Australia. I couldn't find Batch 7 or Batch 8, which is the current distillery release at the time of recording. So imagine my surprise when I walked into a random Dan Murphy's one day and found this sitting on the shelf. But the website said it was sold out. But, well, yeah, I mean, it feels real. So, after finding a bottle that wasn't supposed to be there, today I'm now going to review the Tamdhu Batch Strength Batch number 7, Single Malt Scotch Whisky. Alrighty then. Welcome to Whisky. I'm John Chidgey. Please remember to drink responsibly, only ever in moderation, and where and when it is appropriate to do so. If you are watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, please take a moment now to like and subscribe and visit engineer.network/whisky without the E to learn how you can support the show. Thank you. As I said in episode 43, and just to quickly recap, their batch strength offerings are effectively a core range offering, and this bottle is batch number 7. It's fully matured in seasoned Oloroso sherry casks from Jerez in Spain. This 700ml bottle cost me $119 from Dan Murphy's, but like I said, you have to find it in store because you can't trust it online, and watch for individual store pricing too. But technically it's listed at $148.99 Australian, but there's no stores with any stock at Dan's, at least online. It has no age statement. So batch number 6 had a 56.8% ABV, but batch 7 is slightly higher at 57.5% ABV. And it's not chill filtered, and it's also not coloured. The currently available release, batch 8, is considered to be part of their collection, aka a core range. One thing I have to admit is that with limited time available to me, I have to be smart about looking for bottles of interest. In the bad old days of the Yellow Pages, the tagline was, "Let your fingers do the walking," right? But the modern equivalent is to let Google or the internet do the walking. But in this case, my previous statements about the batch strength's availability in Australia were based on internet-only research. What I've learned is that Dan Murphy's, like many other stores, will have some items in stock that just aren't listed online, or if it is, the quantities that they have on hand can be wrong. There's simply no substitute for pounding the pavement, so to speak, and looking in person. Dan's have no phone number you can call to check store stock over the phone, but with dozens of stores to check, it's just not very practical. For those that are based in Queensland at least, there are 2 Dan Murphy stores that have good stocks of whiskey: Mermaid Waters on the Gold Coast and Kawana on the Sunshine Coast. Pretty much every other store doesn't have a huge range, but having said all of that, I didn't get this bottle from either of those stores. Online, if you look, it says that there is no stock and no stock in multiple nearby stores anywhere in Queensland if you just look on the website. But I found this bottle in more than one Dan Murphy's in my travels over the last 6 months. So the lesson is, sometimes you just have to physically look. And for me, I generally just don't have time for that. It's opportunistic only. Anyway, the website has the following tasting notes for this offering. On the nose, a subtle waft of vanilla sponge, followed by spicy cinnamon and roasted praline. On the palate, decadent pavlova filled with luscious raspberries. On the finish, lengthy and lingering finish. Warm oak spices, baked figs, evident sherry flavours, and freshly peeled clementine. Well, alright then. Let's see what we get, shall we? So for the colour, I would say that is a sherry colour. At best, it's a copper, but still. In terms of legs, just waiting for these suckers to form. We've got a couple. There we go. They're starting to really slow. Very small droplets, and these are they're making a breakaway. There you go. Breaking away. Suggests it's going to be a little bit oily. That's all right. Wow. Oh, it smells hot. It smells strong. Like, it smells ABV strong, really strong. Definitely getting vanilla. It's a strong vanilla too. It's not weak. Man, that smells really delightful, to be honest. It smells it's strong, but it's still light. And it's got a little bit of that, a little floralness to it as well. It smells creamy and buttery too. I'm really interested to see how this compares with batch 6, as well as with batch 7. Because I am definitely getting... Yeah, it tastes a little... It smells a little bit like walnuts, actually. Alright, I'm dying to try this. Let's have a crack and see what we get, shall we? Whoa. Strong, baby. That is a strong whiskey. That is very thick and oily. I would say, oh, you know you're drinking that. That's for damn sure. You can't drink that in your sleep. Mind you, you shouldn't be drinking in your sleep, even if it's water. Anyway, it's probably got a sort of a moderate length finish to it, I would say. About moderate, yeah. It smells... It's straightforward. It's not an overly complex whiskey. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of orange citrus on the palate. I'm getting, yeah, a bit of lemon. It's kind of interesting. It starts a bit orange and then it tastes more like lemon the more it sits in your tongue. It's interesting. A very subtle oak on that nose as well. It is a bit chewy too. Honestly, I reckon there's a little bit of it tastes a little bit like a lemon meringue. It is sweet, but yeah. Ultimately though, it's a very nice dram. It is very, very nice. And it's very similar to the 6, to be honest. But, having said that, okay, let's get ahead of ourselves. Where does this sit? So for cost, clearly it's a 2, which is affordable for good whiskey. Of course, that's all presuming you can find somewhere that's got it on sale. But in terms of quality, it's an easy 3. It's an easy 3, and it's just got the Tamdhu, that beautiful sherry flavor and sherry punch to it, and being cask strength, you know you're drinking it. It is a serious drink, and it is very bold and very strong. But if you had money to put down, would you get this, or would you get something like the Tamdhu 12 or the 15? I reckon this is better than the 12, but I don't think it's better than the 15. And the reason that I don't think it's better than the 15 is that it's just not very complex. It's a very straightforward dram. It's perfectly fine, and if you like a good cask strength, this is not bad. But having said that, I just wish it was more straightforward to get your hands on it. But, you know, in any case, I'm glad I got it, I'm glad I tried it, and to compare between the two, they are very, very similar, between the 6 and the 7. I don't have any of the 6 left to a side-by-side comparison, unfortunately, and the 7 isn't even the current one, the 8 is. But from batch to batch, there seem to be enough similarities between them. For the price, it's not too bad. Oh, actually, I should probably mention that. For a price of 2 and a quality of 3, that makes it a green. You know, generally keeps some of these on hand. And I mean, as you can see, I still have a full bottle here on hand, and that's fantastic. But you know what? I'm not entirely sure I'll be replacing it when I do eventually finish it at some point in the future. I think I'm going to probably spend a little bit extra and get the 15, because the 15 is just so delightful. This is good. The 15 is just that bit nicer. But in any case, glad I got it. Glad I found it, because remember the batch 6, I only got a little sample of it. I didn't actually got a full bottle of it. So this is the first full bottle I've ever had of it. And with that, I'll say cheers, and I'll see you next time. Strong sherry Tamdhu. Strong, but good.